stable MRI, but daily life keeps getting harder. That paradox is real. Lesion counts aren't the whole story. What often drives symptoms is a quieter process smoldering underneath, subtle damage that doesn't always show up as big, flashy spots on a scan. Smoldering inflammation is like embers that never quite go out. Low-grade, ongoing immune activity that quietly irritates the nervous system without making fresh dramatic lesions. Over time, that can contribute to neurodegeneration, gradual loss of nerve cells, and brain atrophy, where brain volume shrinks faster than normal aging. Together, these changes can worsen fatigue, mobility, and thinking even without obvious relapses. Researchers call this pattern PIRA, progression independent of relapse activity. If you've ever been told stable scan while feeling worse, no, it's not in your head. An MRI is a snapshot. Your lived experience is the documentary. The good news, care is shifting. We're aiming for earlier, more sensitive detection of subtle progression and function-first goals, how you move, think, and feel, not just what the scan shows. And you have agency. Cool the smolder with lifestyle supports. Track key symptoms in a simple journal, and make decisions as a team with your clinician. This is about clarity, not doom, steady progress, cooling embers.
Because if you have MS, there's a good chance you've had this weird, frustrating experience. You go in for your checkup, hold your breath, and then get the news. Your scans look stable. No new lesions. High fives all around, right? Except, you don't feel stable. In fact, you feel like things are quietly getting harder. The fatigue is heavier, like you're walking through wet cement. Your thinking feels foggier, like trying to find a specific file on a messy desktop. Your balance is just a little more precarious. The symptoms keep piling up, even without a big, obvious relapse showing on the MRI. It's the story of someone we'll call Alex. Alex leaves the neurologist's office feeling both relieved and confused. The doctor said everything looks great on paper. But on the way home, climbing the stairs to their apartment feels like scaling a mountain. They forget half the items on their grocery list. This disconnect between the all clear from the scan and the check engine light flashing in their own body is incredibly common. It can make you feel like you're imagining things. But you're not.
And now, the scientific community is essentially raising its hand and saying, yeah, about that. We may have underestimated that pattern for a long time. For decades, the focus was almost entirely on new, active lesions, those bright, obvious spots on an MRI that signal a relapse. They were the fires we were trained to spot and put out, but researchers are now confirming what patients have been reporting all along. There's something else going on. A quieter, slower, smoldering process that doesn't always show up on a standard scan. Thinking your stable scan tells the whole story is like seeing a tiny contained flame on the kitchen stove and completely missing the 5-alarm fire raging in the basement. But now researchers are realizing the electrical wiring inside the house might have been melting the entire time. MS can sometimes act less like random attacks and more like slow background sabotage. Scientists call it smoldering inflammation, slow, persistent immune activity that keeps nerves irritated between big flare-ups. Picture old lesions with hot rims, scars that look quiet, but their edges stay metabolically active, nudging progression over time.
Translation: the basement's a slow cooker, not a fire alarm.
Clinicians now watch small functional trends, gait speed, hand taps, balance tests, and cognition screens to spot change even when scans look unchanged. This quieter pattern has a name, PIRA, progression independent of relapse activity, and recognizing it helps tailor care sooner.
Good news, no new lesions.
Fantastic, then why do my legs feel like expired Wi-Fi?
Researchers are finding that how well you bounce back after relapses may tell us a lot. Not, did something happen, but, did your nervous system recover efficiently afterward? After a relapse, incomplete recovery can leave tiny leftovers, small deficits that add up over time. Watching the rebound matters as much as the flare itself.
So we track how fast function rebounds, not just if a relapse happened.
Early tune-ups, PT, OT, energy budgeting, and sometimes medication tweaks can improve that post-relapse trajectory.
Think phone battery. If it never recharges to 100%, your day gets shorter and shorter.
Simple home checks help. Weekly 20-foot walk time, hand tap speed, and a quick balance test for a month after a flare. If rebound stalls or slips, ping your clinic sooner. Early adjustments can prevent a slow drift.
Goal: faster bounce backs, steadier days, fewer surprises. fewer expired Wi-Fi legs.
These things can worsen slowly enough that people start blaming themselves instead of the disease.
Maybe I'm just lazy?
A lot of people with MS aren't imagining their progression. Researchers are simply getting better tools to measure what was already happening. These shifts creep in, needing longer breaks, tripping more on uneven ground, slower word finding, heavier limbs by afternoon. That's disease biology, not laziness or lack of grit.
Your willpower didn't misplace the myelin. Promise.
When that doubt shows up, counter it with data. Jot quick notes, ask about PT or OT, try energy budgeting, and bring patterns to your next visit. This sounds scary until you realize what it really means. It means medicine is getting smarter. This isn't researchers discovering MS suddenly became worse. It's researchers realizing some people were being underestimated. More tools spot subtle change earlier, biomarkers, advanced MRI metrics, care plans shift sooner, PT, OT, cognition support, and energy budgeting. Remote tracking helps between visits, simple logs, wearables, and gentle app prompts. Bottom line, earlier tweaks, steadier function, less fear, real progress. Your MRI is one chapter of the story, not the entire Netflix series. This is why good neurologists don't just stare at scans, they pay attention to you. MRIs are powerful, but not omniscient. They excel at spotting obvious, new inflammatory lesions. They miss subtler dysfunction, repair failures, and day-to-day performance. That's why your story matters alongside the scan. Standard MRI is less sensitive to gray matter and spinal cord changes. Those areas drive fatigue, balance, and cognition. Symptoms people notice long before a dramatic picture changes. There's also a timing mismatch. Relapses are events, progression is drift. A snapshot can look calm, while function slowly trends downward between scans. Advanced tools help: volumetrics, lesion rim imaging, and microstructural metrics. They're not everywhere yet, but they're expanding and adding context to routine MRIs. So good clinicians pair imaging with function, gait and balance checks, hand tapping speed, eye movements, and cognition screens. These catch meaningful changes early. Bottom line for Chapter 7. Your MRI is one chapter. Bring your lived data to complete the book, so care plans reflect the whole story, not just a few pages. So, after all this, what's the big takeaway? First and foremost, the takeaway is not to panic. It's easy to hear about new complexities and feel a surge of anxiety, but that's not the goal here. The real goal is clarity. The takeaway is, MS is more complicated than people realized, and researchers are finally getting more precise about it. This isn't just academic. This precision is fantastic news. It means the entire approach to managing MS is evolving. It's shifting the focus toward earlier detection of subtle changes, setting function-first goals instead of just looking at scans, recognizing the huge role of lifestyle support, developing better ways to track symptoms beyond the clinic, and fostering more shared decision-making between you and your care team. So if you've ever felt like your MS experience didn't match what your scans supposedly said, you are absolutely not alone. Think of it this way. An MRI is like a single photograph. It's a valuable snapshot, but it can't tell the whole story. Your daily experience, on the other hand, is the full-length documentary. It captures the plot twists, the character development, and all the nuance that a single picture misses. And honestly, a lot of researchers are finally catching up to what patients have been saying for years. This validation opens the door for you to be an even more active partner in your own care. You can help create that full documentary for your clinical team. Consider keeping a simple journal to track things beyond major relapses. Note your fatigue patterns, any new sensory symptoms, or changes in your mobility, or cognitive clarity. This isn't about obsessing, it's about collecting data that paints a more complete picture of your health over time. This empowers you to have more specific conversations. Instead of just saying, "I feel worse," you can go into your next appointment with notes and ask targeted questions like, "How can we best track my functional progress between visits?" Or, "What subtle signs should I be paying attention to and noting for you?" Or, "Based on my latest experiences, should we reconsider any part of my management plan?" It's about turning your lived experience into a powerful tool, because you're the expert on you, and now the science is finally ready to listen.
If this video helped make MS make more sense, subscribe, because this channel exists for people who are tired of doom, confusion, or medical explanations that somehow require 14 textbooks and a wizard.